Hello, hello. We are back with another week of Launch Codes Football. I'm Daniel,
And I'm Chelsea.
and yeah, we're in the dog days of March, so there's not much football going on, but my bracket's still good. UConn's still in it at the moment, knock on wood.
Can't relate, dude. I didn't pick Florida to win, but my bracket's looking tough.
I actually picked High Point to win in one bracket. I'm like, well, yeah, this is awesome. I got this. And then I had Florida going all the way to the Final Four. So like, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away.
That Florida game was crazy. Yeah, there's a lot of sports going on right now, but not a lot of football outside of minor draft news right now and pro days. That's pretty much all that's going on with football right now. Free agency is pretty much over at this point, at least for the most highly desired guys. I mean, an aside, baseball season starts this week. Go Cubs.
I have two
Had to
drafts tonight.
had to wear my sweatshirt. Yeah, I had my draft on Friday. So lots of sports going on, but football, once we hit April, football will pick right back up
I just realized as you said that, I also have my old high school baseball shirt on.
because it's baseball
Yeah, shout out to Queen's Grant.
almost.
So we decided to, for this kind of slow, we go take a little trip back in time. A lot of people was talking mess about the Patriots and that Super Bowl performance. So we decided to think of, you know what, let's compare their performance to the last say a dozen or so Super Bowl losers, the teams that lost Super Bowl, and we're just having a nice little tier list here. I don't know why they have like Phineas and Ferb and like a Star Wars thing when I made this tier list. It was just there when it came with it, but that's not important. We're going to rank the past 12 Super Bowl losers on a scale of eventually won a ring. It was a coin flip game to see. Basically, the game could have gone either way. A solid effort, but you clearly lost. You were essentially a one-year wonder, and you weren't even worth showing up. Seriously. So,
Cool. Sounds good.
so we begin this with, unfortunately, Chelsea, your guy, Mr. the Sheriff, Mr. Peyton Manning, and when the Broncos lost to the Seattle Seahawks in a terrible blowout. Excuse me. That was an insane game, just for the fact it started out with safety. And then they just never seemed to recover after that. That was a big New York Super Bowl in New York City, and people going crazy, and it was just so disappointing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that was when, Russell Wilson was still on the Seahawks, throwing it back to what year is this? 2014? Yeah. So they had a really good team that year. I mean, that was the year of Marshawn Lynch. He was still there. Still had legends like Doug Baldwin and Jermaine Kearse and
Yeah, that was just
Golden Tate and Percy Harvin. You kind of still had all those guys. And obviously, you still had the Legion of Boom. I mean, no one will ever forget that defense. One of the best all time, in my opinion. I mean, you had Cam Chancellor, Bobby Wagner, Earl Thomas.
it.
So, seeing what the Broncos were going up against, yeah, I would also be scared.
Yeah, it was Payman had the record-setting season. The offense seemed to be humming on all cylinders, and it just all fell apart.
They
I
ran into the Legion of Boom, more or less.
It was the best offense versus the best defense, and that usually goes to the best defense. So, as
Yeah,
much as I want to say not even worth it, the fact is they did eventually win the Super Bowl a few years later.
they did.
It was
They
a
did
very
win a Super Bowl later
it was a
against hometown team.
it was a very different team in regards of this team was led by offense and the Super Bowl winning team was led by essentially Von Miller and the Marcus Ware. So
I
I
mean,
give
that's
credit.
true, but
I,
I don't know. I feel like it still won a ring eventually. I mean, they came back and within only 2 years.
yeah, yeah. So okay, I'll give that. Won a ring eventually. We give Peyton that. Granted, it was it was between
Wrong
that.
colors, but that's beside the point.
It was between up and no wrong colors. This it's between. I like how it's between basically the best case scenario and the worst case scenario. I'm like, okay, yeah, they did win the ring eventually, and to
Yeah.
get the payback, we get the next year, which is the not giving the ball to Marshawn Lynch on the goal line, Seattle losing that game in a heartbreaking fashion. that has to be coin flip decision. They should have won that game.
Yeah. Yeah, I would put that at coin flip, honestly. I mean, that decision is gonna probably live in infamy for the rest of modern football history.
I'm trying to.
I mean, it's still a meme to this day, and we are past 10 years past the Super Bowl. So, I mean, it's not to say that, the Patriots didn't have a good team and the Seahawks didn't have a good team. I mean, they both had good teams. I mean, it was a good game, but
Oh yeah.
that play calling at the end was really what sealed it for the Patriots. It's tough when you're your own worst enemy, It's not because you lose to the other team because they were better, it's because you put yourself in a situation you didn't have to.
I'm just trying to think. Is there ever, at least there's been worse GM decisions, but or like worst decision in front office. Is that just university considered the worst coaching decision, on field coaching decision? Because the only other thing I can think about is going back in time a little, showing my age, was when in the '03 MLB ALCS for Boston and New York, with Grady Little leaving in a struggling Pedro that eventually tied the game. But this is a Super Bowl. This is the most obvious give the ball to your best player. At least in the other situation, Pedro is their best pitcher. Marshawn's your best player, is the best player on Seattle's offense. And yeah, it's there's no excuse not to give him the ball. This they should have won back to back. It's
Yeah.
disappointing, but sometimes that's
Well, Seahawks fans, at least they have this most recent Super Bowl, but I think that one is going to sting, fans who remember it for a long, long time. If I were a Seahawks fan, I'd be feeling that. So,
this one's probably the most painful for I guess both of us. The Panthers losing to Denver 24-10. Panthers were probably, I'm pretty sure they were heavy favorites going into this game. It was a case the Panthers had lost one game up to this season. It was just so amazing how little they could do against the Denver's offense. It was a defense because Payton was this was his last game and he was basically a shell of himself. This was entirely the Broncos defense carrying the weight around. And I figured at least Carolina would be able to do something. It just never happened.
yeah, no, I mean, I agree. I mean, all you have to do is take a glance at the stat line and it tells you pretty much all you need to know. I mean, that defense, again, was really good. I still think Legion of Boom was better, but that one was really good. And, all things considered, that the year the Panthers went 15-1, right? It's kind of crazy when you consider that because a lot of that obviously was carried by Cam Newton, Jonathan Stewart, Mike Tolbert, Greg Olson. But I mean, it's not like they had a strong receiver core. I mean, they had
No, they
Corey
didn't.
Brown and aging Ted Ginn Jr. and
Was
Devin Funchess for
I
their
f
three starting receivers. So the fact that they went 15-1 really just speaks to how good Cam Newton was and how good Greg Olson was and how good Jonathan Stewart was because the rest of the team couldn't do anything. The O-line was not great from what I remember. They had no names at wide receiver. And that defense was ultimately just too much to overcome. And unfortunately, Cam Newton just had a bad game. I mean, he had three total turnovers. He wasn't even at 50% completion percentage. He took 6 sacks. So, I mean, you could, contribute a lot of that loss to the O line, especially, you'll give Panthers fans PTSD when you talk about Michael Orr. So,
the
yeah, don't
Bronx.
bring that name up around Panthers fans. But
Yeah.
I mean, considering where the Panthers have gone after this, honestly, I would say it was a 1-year wonder
Yeah,
because they have not even gotten close to getting back to this. So, sorry, Panthers
it's
fans.
disappointing because this is probably out of the past. Would you say at least out of the past 12 years? Maybe we'll talk about this at the end. Was this probably the best team to lose the Super Bowl? Because they were 17-1 going to the game. So they certainly had the best record, but in terms of best overall team, they're definitely up there being one of the best teams to lose the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, obvious. I mean, they still had Luke Kuechly, before he retired. They still had Thomas Davis. I mean, they had Shaq Thompson. I mean, they still had Josh Norman at that point, Jared Allen. So they definitely had some dudes on that team for sure.
And from
But
one
the Broncos defense was just too much to overcome.
and from one
It
page.
like I said, the defense, the offense really that just shows you how good Cam Newton was that year. Because if you look at the guys he was throwing the ball to outside of Greg Olson, it was thoroughly so.
Well, from one painful loss to a somehow even more of a painful loss, we got the Falcons and the famous 28-3 Atlanta Falcons. Another team that was led by the MVP of the league. Cam was the MVP that the year prior. Matt Ryan was the MVP. They both were having career seasons. They were both going against the legendary quarterbacks of the 2000s with Manning and Brady. This was, I'm not even sure. This is somewhere between a 1 year wonder and a coin flip. Because they clearly should have won this game, but the Falcons haven't really gotten close afterwards. So they could be a little column A, column B. I'll let you be, I guess, the last judge of this because I can see them
Yeah,
going either way.
yeah. I mean, the NFC South, they just have some, they just had some bad games, right? I mean, they played really good, they made it, and then man, they just
Yeah.
fell off a cliff after that. Um, I mean, honestly, Atlanta shouldn't have even lost this game. That was probably the worst collapse I have ever seen in sports in my life.
Easily. Not even
Yeah,
like,
which I mean is not really saying
yeah.
much. I've seen some bad ones, but that one in particular was just pathetically bad. I can't even say solid effort. If it was for the first half, yeah, solid effort. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, if you look at what they have done after the Super Bowl, really it should be a 1 year wonder because they have not gotten close to getting back to a Super Bowl since then. And I mean, man, they had a good team. I mean, they had Matt Ryan, they had Julio Jones. I mean, they had some dudes. I mean, gosh, they had Grady Jarrett. They had some dudes on that team, but
Yeah.
Tom Brady, and what are
That's
you
it.
gonna do?
You said
So
Tom.
I would say 1 year wonder.
You say Tom, I was thinking about Kyle Shanahan. Use your running backs. Stop throwing the football. And that's that was beginning of the whole
Yeah,
Kyle Shanahan not being able to win the big win there, win the big one narrative. But yeah, that
yeah. There's
was
just it's funny that the 1 year wonder section has a theme because it's one division, which
um
in one conference, which is pretty funny.
yeah, the NFC South is insane. The next one on the list,
Oh,
we go from the Patriots winning to Patriots losing. We get the funny Tom Brady lying on the floor meme as Nick Foles takes them out in the Super Bowl.
that
This
was
was
pretty
like
awesome.
this was an insane high scoring game. We didn't know what the heck why Belichick just left Malcolm Butler on the bench the entire game when
He
Nick
was
Foles
mad at him.
he was coughing them up, and you were thinking it's just oh my goodness. That became the narrative. Like Malcolm Butler from Super Bowl hero to not even be able to take the field in the game. It was insane, and technically they did win a ring before and afterwards. So I guess by default they were going here, but I can also see coin flip game because again, it was just an offensive explosion between the two of them.
Yeah, I mean, definitely an offensive explosion. Tom Brady was only 50%, but he had 505 passing yards, which being only 50% completion is pretty insane.
I can't remember
Um,
them ever running the football. New England, they just
I
said
know.
Tom, just throw it.
Speaking of running the football, gosh, I forgot LeGarrette Blount was even on the team during the Super Bowl. Man, I just associated him with the Patriots forever. Um,
Yeah,
so it's kind of funny. He got his revenge, I guess, being on the other team. But yeah, I mean, this was just a back and forth type of game. I mean, I won't say the defenses like on paper they really weren't bad, but man, they sure played like it. So yeah, I'd probably go coin flip, honestly. I was just happy to see Tom Brady lose, if I'm being honest with you. And man, I mean, you look at this team, this was what? This was in 2018, right?
yeah,
So 8 years ago
yeah.
at this point.
Uh-huh.
Man, you want to talk about how the Eagles remade their wide receiver core fast. I mean, the guys that played in the Super Bowl that were the starters were Corey Clement, Nelson Aguilar, and Alshon Jeffrey.
Uh,
Like, whew,
well,
man.
I'll say Jeffrey was okay for a little bit, but yeah, Aguilar,
I mean, they still had Zach Ertz as their starter, who, was kind of their stalwart, like with the
yeah,
Panthers. They had Greg Olson, they had Zach Ertz, so that definitely made a difference. But
and most
man,
importantly, they had Nick
that's
Foles. I was
yeah.
thinking
And
more
Nick
than any,
Foles, the year of Carson Wentz's injury, he goes down, and Nick Foles comes in and saves the day. It was
I was
pretty
thinking
epic.
more than anything, they had Doug Pearson as a head coach and see how he fell off.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty crazy. If you're an Eagles fan and you're listening to this, you're probably thinking to yourself, man, sure am glad we have AJ Brown and Devontae Smith now, even with the drama Brown has. I mean, I would argue both of those guys are far and away better than the top three receivers they had this game. So
The
I would
next,
say coin flip. I mean, it was just tough. I mean, a backup taking down Tom Brady is going to live in infamy forever. I mean, that's
well,
just awesome.
well, Brady got his revenge next year with a low score from a high scoring game to a low scoring, the lowest scoring Super Bowl of NFL history. The Patriots win 13-3 against the Jared Goff led Los Angeles Rams. This was the first year, not the, I don't think this was his first year of Coach McVay, but I just remember Todd Gurley getting the knee injury and he couldn't do much in the playoffs, and that basically ended their chances. Um, honestly, I thought I'm just, this wasn't even worth it. I'm sorry, this was not
It was not. Just put it there. This was
like
the most boring championship in any sport I've ever seen in my life.
they did win the Super Bowl eventually, but they did with a very different team. I'll say that. I feel like
2019, that was my senior year of college. We hosted Super Bowl parties every year, and all of us were just bored. And the most exciting part was the commercials.
I remember I went back because I had graduated at this point, so I went back to Charlotte, and my Matthew actually when he was in grad school at the time, he was in grad school in UNCG. He's like, "Hey, Dale, come up for the Super Bowl." Yeah, sure, okay. I came up. We spent the weekend there. Time to watch the Super Bowl. It was him and a bunch of friends. All the friends just walked away like early in the game, just like this is boring. And me and Matthew were the only two people on the couch watching this game.
You know, knowing what I know about you and Matthew, I can't really say that shocks me.
No.
But no, this game was terrible, man. I mean, this was just awful. I mean, the Todd Gurley thing, man, what a career cut short. I mean, you want to
Oh,
talk about
he
a
was
guy
so
who
he had like a
you
two, three
didn't
year
get to
period.
see what he all had, what all he had, man. I mean, I wish he wouldn't have suffered that because he probably would have made the Hall of Fame with the pace that he was on. I mean, he was absolutely bonkers. Um,
And
and man,
then
kind of the same thing as what I said about the Eagles, in the Super Bowl before this. Talk about remaking your receiver room. I mean, man, for the Rams, they had some very interesting people in the Super Bowl. So boring.
well,
Not even worth it. Never watch a replay of that again in my life, please.
well, next one up, we have a former Patriots quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo, and the story of the Mahomes dynasty, them falling to the Chiefs, them falling to the Chiefs in a 31-20 game. I think this might be our first solid effort, 'cause I feel like they had a lead going into the fourth, but it was always one of those things that like you're just waiting for Mahomes to be Mahomes. This was him and Tyreek Hill, a very young Tyreek Hill, Andy Reid, uh, Kelsey in his prime. Everyone thought the 49ers would, I mean, thought that the Chiefs would just go kind of run away with this game. But I give San Fran credit. They performed well. They battled them throughout the game, but it's just in the last quarter when you need your quarterback to make a play. One team had Patrick Mahomes and one team had Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the fact that this game was as close as it was with Jimmy Garoppolo leading the team should tell you all you need to know. Yeah, I mean, I would put it in a solid effort. I mean, they didn't get blown out, they tried their best. They got a participation award. I would say that you could put it in the win a ring eventually, but alas, they lost again to the Chiefs a couple of years later. So I guess it just ends up being just solid effort, which if you're a Niners fan, you're really not that pleased with. But what are you gonna do? You ran into a buzzsaw.
Yeah, and speaking of buzzsaws, we got the Rams coming back for their revenge against Joe Burrow and the Joe Burrow led Bengals. And this has, and even though he's still around, this has to be kind of a 1 year wonder kind of thing. I feel like.
Wait, you missed one. Tampa Bay, Kansas City.
Oh
Tampa
wow,
Bay,
yeah.
Kansas City was 2021.
Oh yeah, that's right. Wow, thanks. Oh,
The Brady Mahomes Bowl.
well, yeah, that's the Revenge Bowl, which going to that game with Casey with down with the offensive lineman, that just became a Mahomes didn't even have a shot at the dog to try to win
This
that
was
game.
when Mahomes injured his ankle, right?
I think he was
And
playing
he
on a
was like wobbling
yeah.
around, or was that another one? I can't remember.
I remember he was playing on one of the Super Bowls on a bad ankle. I just remember this game as Tampa had a great veteran team, and Casey was missing like two main linemen, and Mahomes was just running for his life the entire game. Um,
And Travis Kelce had a day when he was still in his prime, 10 catches, 133 yards, and they still lost 31-9. So,
um, so I'll give. They technically did win the wing before and after this, and the team was thing is the team was really good. It's just you when you don't have your offensive lineman, you can't do much in this game. So I think when
yeah,
what
they won a ring eventually, gave it to him.
yeah, and now we get
Yeah.
to Joe Cool and the Bengals being
Man,
so close winning against the Los Angeles Rams. This is a one that I don't want to put in 1 year wonder because this was very much a coin flip game, but they've just been so they haven't come well, they came close 1 year afterwards, and after that they just fell off the earth, Cincinnati.
especially their defense, and then Burrow suffering injuries and their bad O-line play. I mean, man, kind of looking at the course that Joe Burrow's career has taken since 2022. I mean, 4 years ago, gosh, I mean, at this point, you wonder if he's even going to get back to a Super Bowl with Cincinnati.
Yeah,
Just
so
looking at the current state of the team, I mean, they're going to have to score 70 a game to even have a chance.
and that then going to his postseason, the Super Bowl, I think this entire postseason run, he had the record for most times the QB was sacked. He was getting sacked every like more than
It was bad.
eight. Like the first game was like 8 times, next game was like 6 times. They still haven't solved the defense. They haven't solved the offensive line problem. They're still, I guess you'll have to put them in coin flip or 1 year wonder. I'll let you be the final judge on that, but it's one of those two.
I mean, I guess technically it would be a 1 year wonder, but like it doesn't feel like that's where they should go. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But I
because
guess if you look at the historicity of, what they've done since then, I mean, I guess it really kind of 1 year wonder. I mean, they made it back to an AFC championship at one point, didn't they? Or was
yeah,
that this year?
no, they made it back the next year and lost to KC.
Mm, no,
So
take it out of 1 year wonder.
coin flip.
Yeah,
Okay, we'll give them that. We give
because
them,
I mean they did make it back to the conference championship. If they were truly a 1 year wonder like the Panthers or the Bucks, they wouldn't have sniffed it again. So
okay. Well, we
Joe
go.
Burrow's going to request a trade out of there. Mark my words.
I
And
hope.
I empathize with the pain that will come with that because as someone who has lost, arguably, if they played his whole year, his whole season, his whole career, Hall of Fame quarterback due to injury concerns, man, I feel you. I'm really hoping that doesn't happen, but I don't know. It's just not on a good course right now, in my opinion.
No. And next we get the Eagles and falling to the Mahomes dynasty again in another insane back and forth game that ended on a last second field goal. This was one of the best Super Bowls, honestly, of the past. Probably, I think this in the even more than the San Francisco KC Part Two. This Super Bowl is just to me two equal
This was a
teams.
really good one.
They
Yeah.
did win a ring eventually, like literally 2 years later. So I guess you'll put them there. But this was
Yeah,
also a
we
game.
we hosted a watch party for this one, 2023. We had Eagles fans and Chiefs fans that were both there, and they were both yelling the whole time. It was an epic
Oh, I couldn't
atmosphere.
imagine that. I could imagine having both Eagles and Chiefs fans. That
Oh yeah, people showed up in their Eagles gear, people showed up in their Chiefs gear, and all the girls who showed up to socialize couldn't hear each other because there was a lot of yelling. So that was a good one. That was really fun. I mean, that was a coin flip for sure. Honestly, I was happy to see Philadelphia lose. Honestly, I was just happy to see someone winning a Super Bowl that wasn't Tom Brady. I know that Mahomes had already won one at that point, but Tom Brady won the year after. And it's like, man, can we just get someone else, please? So I was happy.
yeah, and then the next year we get return of the 49ers. It went into overtime, so I guess technically it would have to be a coin flip game. But man, San
Yeah.
Francisco, I feel so bad for them. They just like the Dre Greenlaw injury, torn Achilles on the sideline just killed them. That was the big difference maker to me
Yeah,
because Casey
yeah,
couldn't do much before the injury.
for sure. And I mean, gosh, at this point, I mean, you think about kind of could take going back to a similar theme I mentioned before. You think about the receiver cores that these teams are getting to the Super Bowl with. Gosh, I feel like this is like the best one so far for the team that lost. I mean, gosh, they had Ayuk when he was still good, Samuel when he was still good, Jawan Jennings when he was blossoming,
CMC,
obviously
yeah,
Christian
McCaffrey.
McCaffrey. So gosh, I mean, I feel like this is the best supporting cast maybe of any of the losing teams that we've seen. That was a coin flip game. I mean, again, I'm happy to see someone not named Tom Brady to win. So
And well, even though we can probably combine the two into one, because I'm just gonna do this. The last two Super Bowls have been terrible. The last two Super Bowls, they just been. I know Mahomes won multiple Super Bowls and probably gonna win some more. That KC team didn't deserve to be there, and the Eagles made sure of it. And this past Patriots team, I don't want to be a person that says schedule merchant because they did win tough games in playoffs. But Seattle was so far and away the better team out there of them. It wasn't even
yeah,
close.
I mean
There
that
was no coin flip. The coin flip was before the game. They maybe I there was no solid effort, and we don't know if it's gonna be a 1 year wonder, but we know that wasn't even worth trying. That wasn't even worth it.
Yeah, I mean, looking back at the games that were the worst that you could not force me to sit through again. I mean, obviously the Rams won and the Patriots, that was highly unpleasant. At least with Seattle, they scored more than 20 points, but gosh, I don't think anyone could be like, "Hey, come over to my house. Let's hang out, watch a rewind of Seattle, New England." That was just terrible. Gosh, it was horrible.
Seattle New
New
game.
England got stomped, and rightfully so. That's what I was saying for weeks when they made it to the Super Bowl. I didn't think it was a fair fight. Honestly, I think that a lot of fans really felt that way, that it really wasn't a fair fight, especially on offense. And it really did not shock me that they got blown out. I mean, one of those touchdowns, I believe, was a garbage time touchdown. So, I
Yeah.
mean, really, they scored less than 10 points over the course of the game. It was just terrible. I mean, I'm happy for Seahawks fans, man. I mean, after the pain you guys went through, with not running the ball. I mean, I'm happy that you got another Super Bowl. I was just happy to see New England lose, honestly. I just didn't think they even deserved to be there.
The past two Super Bowls have the difference in the scores has been 69 to 35.
Oh, dang.
It's been
Bit
yeah,
of a blowout.
it's been it's been a little bit of pain. It's been a little bit of pain, but you know what? I give credit. New England has a dynasty. They'll be fine. Seattle got their comeback for after a decade of pain, and KC, you know what? You have three Super Bowls. Stop complaining. You won back-to-back Super Bowls. No one wins three in a row. Um, just looking at this
I would
list,
just be happy to make the playoffs at this rate.
honestly, I'm surprised we only have one solid effort. It's just I feel like the difference between like just look at the list. You got the teams that you have four teams that basically could have won the Super Bowl if not for like one or two plays. The teams that actually won the Super Bowl like a year or two later, you have these magical runs of just like these MVPs having the greatest seasons of their career. And then you just have the 49, the Jimmy Garoppolo 49ers.
Man, I'll tell you what, you look at some of the Super Bowls before this. I know we started in 2014, right? But man, I feel like the early 2010s to late 2000s was just like peak. That's when you had teams loaded with Hall of Fame players, like for example, you had the Giants taking down New England not once, but twice in the late 2000s and early 2010s, which was awesome. You just had some really good games. It seems like, the further back you go, it seems like there have been more blowouts nowadays than there used to be,
Oh,
which
but
I guess probably just speaks to the level of talent in the league. I mean, really, if you think about it from the early 2000s to the mid 2010s, we pretty much lived through the best era of NFL football of all time. Like in regards to talent and in regards to people making the Hall of Fame, like we did. I mean, it was just that crazy.
and even guys who are still trying to get in the Hall of Fame, like they're guys
Like Reggie Wayne,
like Anquan.
still not in.
Oh wait, I thought he's not in yet. I thought he got.
Nope.
Well, you got
I don't
yeah,
think he is. Marvin is in.
yeah. Marvin's in. I know.
Vinatieri is in, but Reggie Wayne, I think he made it to the second round of voting this year and didn't end up getting in.
You got Reggie Wayne. You got Hines Ward for my for my bias.
Yep.
You have Anquan Bolden, who I know that's one of Matthew's favorite non-giant players. That's just
Hmm.
like the guys who aren't in. And all three of those guys are Super Bowl winners, and one of those guys in Ward is a Super Bowl MVP. So
Right.
like, I know like we talk about the difference in how the games have been a lot closer. I still remember my pops telling me, "Yeah, you don't know how spoiled you are." Like I used to watch these games, they'd be like 49 to like 17. I saw John Elway get beat down in three straight Super Bowls. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I think people underrate, that era of players, especially, Gen Zers, like young Gen Zers and Gen Alpha that are watching football now that were born in the, you know, early to mid 2000s. And it's like all they know now is the football they're seeing. But like, man, I remember watching that Ravens defense. I remember watching Troy Polamalu lay people out. I remember Tom Brady in his peak. I mean, Drew Brees and Manning and Rivers and gosh, at Roethlisberger, Eli Manning. I mean, it was just a historical run in regards to Hall of Fame talent.
yeah. And it's good to look back on your because they do feel like that. There was like a period in some of the like major sports. 'Cause I feel like baseball's going age was probably before that, more the 90s and the 2000s. But certainly for football, like the past from probably like the beginning of the end of the Patriots first dynasty around 03, 04 to probably 2014, that 10-year period, just the amount of talent and people getting drafted and all the stars in there, it was awesome. And this I feel like this list is a fair summary of that. Is showing like you have some of the new guys coming in like Mahomes and Golf, who eventually not Golf. That was me. Mahomes and I guess Burrow and them. And you got the guys who were on their ways out, like Manning and Brady and stuff. So
And Matt Ryan too. I mean,
yeah.
Matt Ryan I mean, from what I can remember, his career went pretty, there was no going back up after that. He just started to decline after that. And I mean, same thing with Cam Newton, he suffered some injuries and he was just kind of never the same after they got there. Um,
But
but man, I mean, you
it's good to look back.
definitely, it's good. It's cool to look back and recollect and see, the course that we've taken. Gosh, I just hope the Super Bowl is entertaining this year. Is that too much to ask?
I just say from this list overall, I would love to see a matchup between the Cam Newton led Panthers versus that record-setting Manning season. That would be an insane game. That would be a great,
Yeah.
or even that Rams team if Todd Gurley was healthy. That would think was a big difference. If Todd Gurley was
Man,
actually,
Todd Gurley, man, what a career we'll
what
never find
if,
out about, man. I mean,
yeah.
that's just sad. What could
Well,
have been, man?
well, I'm gonna download this and we'll share on our socials and you can give your taste, give your opinions on it. Um, yeah. So like this was fun. Maybe we'll do something like this again throughout the spring and summer as some of these slower weeks in football when we're not talking about the draft or free agency or a major trade hasn't happened or something crazy. We'll do stuff like this. And we'll see how it's good to see and be free to talk about it, start chat, start a discussion. And Chelsea, tell us where you can start these chats and discussions on these lists.
Yeah, so thanks for tuning in, guys. Tune back into us next week for another episode. In the meantime, follow us on our social media. We are on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube at Launch Codes Football, on X at Launch Codes FB. And if you're interested in joining our Chat BCC chat room, where I'm sure we'll be discussing this post, hit us up and we can get you that link. In the meantime, I'm Chelsea,
I'm Daniel.
and we will see you next week.
Adios, amigos.